well. Right now, we're kind of on our way to the B wave because the MACD momentum is slowing down for the bear. So potentially a rebound and come back down. So that's that. Does that answer your question about XRP? If that does, I will go and move on to USDT dominance. Who asked for XRP? My God, you guys are typing so fast. I couldn't find who asked XRP. Anyway, does that answer? Okay, Troy, did it work for you? Or did you have any other context you want to know? Wait, what? Who's jerking to... Well, come on. For real now? Sherlock, you want to keep your channel clean, huh? Keep mine clean, at least. So we have a sanctuary, huh? We have a lot of ladies on this chat. Come on. I'm old school. Keep this clean. All right, anyways, Troy, did I answer your question? If it does, I'm moving on. Going back to the USDT dominance. Looking at this now, it's really playing out pretty much like the prediction I had earlier, right? So the dominance, in my opinion, if it successfully overtakes this MSR, major support resistance level, will probably hit this trend line. So that means dump might continue a little bit longer, in my opinion. We have just kind of overtaken this trend line before. We never really broke below this green trend line. So trend line wise, I think USDT dominance is actually on the rise. We do have resistance here, but it's kind of like anticipated, right? And after the breakout, we might retest. The thing is, I think we're shooting for the pink trend line up top here. And these trend lines are just based on a longer time frame, right? So I have the trend line either based with the Fibonacci levels, which you'll learn in my class with the fibs, or, you know, we're just kind of drawing from the previous points and see if it's gonna basically break out or not. But unless we break below this green trend line, we're not gonna see anything in terms of majority of a pump. So if you're waiting for the pump, we are still kind of ways away from it, because this green trend line is very well respected, right? And you also kind of want to look at the angle of the trend line. So in terms of this angle, it's at about 13%. So it depends on, you know, how you kind of do this, but 13% is pretty shallow. The shallower it is, usually the more respected it is, right? So you guys want to be very careful with this green trend line. So I wouldn't be bullish unless we have signs that USDT dominance is kind of closing below the green. Does that answer your question with the USDT dominance? And if you guys have any other question, you can jump back in and ask. Once we go over all the questions, we'll get the scalp started. Okay, I'm glad I answered your question, King. Sure, Colonel, I'm not doing that. No matter how many times you ask, it's always the same response. To answer the question about whether or not you want to scalp XRP in terms of short, I mean, I guess you can in a very small position. I don't know if I would. Especially right now we're on the way to the B wave. If you do want to scalp, then you might want to scalp at the break of structure here. So probably around 62 cents. Then you can actually short it, right? If you want to short, I would short when the price comes up. Sherlock always says, right? You wait for the price to come to you. You don't chase the price. So if you really want to short, you probably want to wait for it to go back to this level. You see how this line is really beautifully kind of placed, where it's bounced a couple times. We have the deviation here, and then it kind of just came down. But if you really look at it, this is the new higher high, right? So usually when the higher high, you can also use a great Fibonacci right here. Just basically place it. This is 4 hour, right? So let me place it at the top. So if we look at the Fibonacci of this one, potentially this is also a 618 respawn, right? So at 62 cents or 61.9 cents, this is literally a 618 of this current impulse wave. So it does come down and reverse, potentially a rebound right around the BOS. So if you want to short, that's probably where I would short it. Does that make sense, Troy? Okay, cool. Any other questions before we move on? We have a lot of you. Are you all waiting for the scalping? If you are waiting for scalping, please type 1 so I know how many people here just want to do scalp, or you actually. Okay, Blaze. I get you, Blaze. Hey, what's up, Chronos? Good to see you as well. All right. Well, I appreciate the participation. Okay, if there's no really other questions, then yeah, let's give the people what they want. Yes. All right, cool. So let me turn off all this stuff. EMA, I guess I can leave it on. All right, so we're in the live scalp session. Before, let me give a disclaimer. If you do want to make money during my live stream scalping session, a couple of things you want to make sure you understand. A lot of my trades is going to be using the market buy sell button. So you have to be very familiar with what that is on your exchange. I highly recommend using Maxi for the lower fees for these type of maneuvers and strategies. And the position, usually I go in and out, is just 1 BTC or 2 BTC, depends on how confident I am, right? So when I say I'm selling here, I'm buying here, sometimes I do limits, but usually I do markets. So just be very careful what you guys are when you're following, right? If you have no idea what I'm doing, I always ask before just jumping in. Most of you can hear me, right? Yeah. All right, so let's get started. Remember what I said, the first thing you always want to do is you want to make sure you have a bias. So right now, looking at the current situation, the bias is, relatively bearish. So then you wanted to identify why are we so bearish at the moment, right? So for scalps, I normally would go to the 4 hours if I'm trying to kind of do my 3-minute scalps. So then I would just basically go draw out the major structures. So I have my structures out. I can see a little bit better. Okay. So I really don't like the fact that we're making a new low. So we have obviously broken support here, right? So this structure is what I call MSR. MSR is just basically major support resistance area. And we broke below the previous over here. This could potentially be a deviation, but I don't like the fact that we did close below it. So unless we have a very significant or close above it to create a new higher high, I really don't know, meaning that I'm pretty bearish in that case. So if you look at the Fibonacci here, and this is just the OEM version, we're currently literally rebounding again right at 382. You guys see that? Very clearly, right? So we came all the way down. We rebounded to about 382, and now we're kind of on our way back down again. Another thing I'm looking at is at the 4 hour, we didn't actually have any type of bullish order block. So we broke below the previous major resistance or support area, right? And we didn't create a bullish order block. That means the next time we visit, this place has very weak support or liquidity. So if it does come down, I am more biased towards it creating a new lower low. So then again, I'm trying to, think in terms of the bearish momentum. And if you look at here, we have a 4-hour order block right here, right? So this is actually a bear order block. If you don't want to use the wicks and you just want to use the body, which you still can, especially 4 hours, the data is not really incredibly large. But you also have some sort of a zone here. Zone is basically just ranging. So you not only have a zone, but you have dual order block. Literally, if you pull this out, this can be a zone where potentially price can come back, especially this is a 0.5, Fibonacci area. So even if the price were to show some bullish momentum, I still think potentially it can rebound from here, So let me just turn the music down a little bit. Okay. So with that said, that kind of gives me a good sense of the current structure and what we're doing. So I'm looking for these levels. So now going to the 3 minutes. So the local structure, we have a little bit different, right? So local structure, we're currently doing this. So we're kind of creating higher highs. And if we use the wick, that shows you we have an area of interest. And that area of interest is literally right here. So literally every time we came up here, it rebound, came up here, rebound, and we are creating a higher low in that sense. So I think this could potentially be a pattern, right? So let me find a pattern cheat sheet and I'll show you guys what that potentially looks like. Hold on, let me just kind of copy and paste that over too. So we came down, okay, right here. You guys see this? So literally, let me kind of pull this away. So the price came down and then it has the same top. But the thing is we did break above here, right? But this is literally this pattern right here. So now that it broke above here, what I'm watching for is this is the current retest of this MSR. So are we going to rebound from here to go potentially higher? This could be a good place potentially I can long. Basically, I'm looking for that 382 or potentially that 0.5, right? Or if we break below this MSR, then I am very bearish, so I would definitely go bear. So now that we just broke out, came back retest, so far the retest seems successful in my opinion. We haven't really had any signs of breakdown. So if you want to long right now, right? If you want to long, and we don't have a big order bus from going up. So if you want again, so I'm just gonna enter 1 BTC, just long, and we can take our TP literally at the 2 place, right? 65,247. So that's my first trade of the stream. Okay. And let's find our invalidation, right? So basically what I'm trying to find is this trend line right here. What constitutes this trend to basically make it so that we know it cannot break below here. So it is this pink line. So we don't want to see the price break below this pink because then, or break below this brown, right? So these are the 2 points where we're trying to avoid. So this and this. So we're trying to avoid it breaking below these two for me to be temporarily, locally bullish. And probably the price is not going to break the pink trend above. So my TP is going to be, depends on which candle I'm looking at. So you can always have a cross, right? So if this candle, we all of a sudden have a, let's say basically a spurs of impulse momentum, then I probably take TP over here at the local top because it's very close to the trend line. But if it kind of slowly and gradually goes above, the more time we have, the more we can go up and probably eventually hit this our fib level previously drawn from high time frames. So if you really look at that, by the time that it hits it, it'll probably take 2 hours, right? Which is not a great demonstration for live stream. But as it kind of reaches here, what I want to do is I want to take partial TP here. So what I can do is I can set up a trade for the reverse direction for half of my position size, literally at the previous local high. So that when the price kind of get up to here, I'm reducing my risk. I'm moving stop loss to break even, and I'm just waiting for it to kind of go all the way up there. Right? So you can actually do this. For the range, are you talking about the pink? The pink is the speed resistant fan, yeah. The level is proprietary though, right? So that's something only my students get. Otherwise, it's just a speed fan. And I also have this. Let me put this in the group. Live streaming. And I also have my own proprietary fib levels that I have drawn over the times. Oh, it's just completely kaput, right? So this is what I was worried about earlier, that if it does break below, then we're currently looking for potential opportunities to DCA, right? So don't freak out when this happens. Remember, if you're new, then let me recite the difference here. So I'm not the best when it comes to predictions. So I'm not going to always guess the direction correctly, but I would consider myself very skilled at managing trades, right? So I can always kind of manage myself out of a bad situation. So right now we're kind of going through this order block right here. And it looks like it'll probably just poke through. And it does. Then we're looking at the 200 EMA. 200 EMA is the teal line. We have a fib level right here from the long time frame, high time frame. And then we have this resistance right here. So all these things are suggesting, like nobody can have predicted this God candle, right? So this God candle is just something stupid. It happens. You just need to stay calm and kind of work your way out. That's why I have a relatively small position. Because if we print a gigantic wick from this, and we literally have about a minute to close, if we print a gigantic wick or followed by a very strong bullish candle, then what's going to happen is it's probably going to then take off. Remember, if we want to hit this level, we do need more liquidity down here in order to get higher, right? So then we can create a new higher high, as long as we still stay above the previous low. So here's our major resistance level right here, right? So this is going to be, in this case, will be change of character, right? Locally, at least. Because locally, this is currently a bullish trend. So it's either here and here. So if I were to DCA, I would probably DCA at the bottom or close to this orange line. So this next candle is very important. If this next candle continues to print, a God candle down, then, we might be more bearish than I think. But if it rebounds from the trend line, we're still good. So I'm not in a hurry to really DCA right now. We're kind of watching how the price is going to go. So give it a moment. So the only reason why, even though the entire bias is bearish and I still go long, is because of the local structure, right? What we want to see is long wicks. If we have long wicks, we have a lot of hope. And I'm actually going to DCA if we can close a positive candle following by the next positive candle. So right now is probably a good idea to monitor the momentum. So we also kind of want to see the momentum slowing down. Remember, if you want to do well in managing, you want to make sure you control your impulse to want to DCA. Because imagine that if this is a zombie shooting game, right, and you only have 6 bullets, you don't want to spend your bullets shooting at air, right? You don't want to just shooting at whatever random stuff. You want to make sure you keep your DCA where it matters, where it counts. So I'm really looking at DCAing around these areas. This might be too big of a circle. But one is potentially at EMA. But I find that at 3 minutes, EMA 200, even though EMA 200 is not really well respected. But I'm potentially looking at this place, depends on the price action, or I'm looking at this fib level plus this CHOCH plus this, second fib line. So the wick is telling you there's a tremendous amount of pressure right now down here that is still pushing it up, but it hasn't really been able to flip the candle color simply because the pressure up top is much bigger than the pressure down low, right? So we are still kind of just looking at the price action and trying to find the point of reversal where then the pressure dominance is changing. So again, this is where you need to be very patient. Hey, what's up, Sarah? Road to Millionaire Season 2. Yeah, I mean, it gets boring, right? That's why I always have the music. And also the music helps you keep calm. When I first started, when I have like, a minus 185, I would freak out. Right now I can have literally a drawdown of, let's say, minus 2000, minus 1800. I still feel pretty calm, pretty confident that I can turn it around. Just a matter of time. Yeah, see, this sudden reversal of momentum shift, this is something that I don't think anyone can predict. Right? That's why I said I don't rely majority of my skill sets on the predictions, on reading how the price is going to be, but I spend majority of my time in terms of risk management, how I can manage my way from a drawdown into a profitable trade. Right? So that's usually what I'm working on. All right, so now we have an intersection, right? So the intersection is the SPFAN, the Fibonacci level, basically diagonally. We have a fib from all high time frame. We have a EMA 200 here. So there's 3 reasons why price could reverse from this point. And that's why the price is having some sort of reaction. I don't know if this is enough. I don't know. But if we can print a bullish order block here, meaning that if the price were to spur up and close above the open close here, then we might be more bullish, right? So we're really looking at how this candle is going to basically close in the next minute and 25. Based on its reaction right now, it doesn't look like this is enough. Again, we're looking for the DCA where we can then have a reversal. So if you're in this trade with me, just hang on. Yeah, well, we gotta have a little bit more than a few minutes then, right, Sarah? But I know, I know you're busy. And I haven't forgot about that million with you either. Just spend more time here when you can. Not to push you, right? But just when you can. By the way, if you didn't enter the long, you could probably have shorted, right? Right now, if you were to short, you're simply following the wave. But again, we're looking for places of reaction where it makes a lot of sense. So if you're looking at the change of character now, usually CHOCH is a pretty strong point of potential reversal. So we're still looking at that price action for where it will rebound. And you see every candle of the way, if we can see higher and higher rebounds, then like this, right? Like this. This is what I'm talking about. You see like this stupid God candle, right? Literally it came up and down just like this. Like this is manipulation 101. There is no way. I can probably just go ahead and put my like partial TP here. Like honestly, that moment of, there's nothing you can do in these moments. So I think we caught a liquidity grab event that's happening right now, you guys. Usually this is the time where I would, try my best to just break even and get out because I don't want to be a part of the manipulation. But it's still respecting the fib. Like the fib literally came right to this line and rejected. Only reason why I use bodies is because it's 3-minute chronos. Anytime when I do low time frames, I don't like to use wicks because there's not enough data in the wicks to do that. Yeah, so this is more like a doji in my opinion. Like the price is still trying to figure out which way it wants to go. We can probably ignore this long ass wick down here. Some of you might actually freak out, but this is looking more bullish than bearish in my opinion. We still have about a minute. Again, we're looking for that order block to print. So I'm looking for a potential bullish order block to print. And that's where I will probably, you know, get DCA going. Or we might not have to. So I'm just moving my my TP up here. Or to sell half of that. I can probably just manually do that. So if it does come up, yeah, what the fuck is going on, right? Seriously. This is not your typical. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna move my TP down here at this fib level, like nearby the previous high. Right now, if you want to get out and you don't want to be a part of this manipulation, you can, guys. So, because it can really go either direction. So the budget is always 10K, Joe. So the portfolio size is just 10,000. So literally in the last second, we didn't print a bullish order block. That means we'll probably see more downward momentum based on the price structure, right? If you're wondering why I haven't exited out of the trade, I kind of did that on purpose to show you guys that it's okay when you're on a down trade. This is a very important, skill to demonstrate, right? How to not freak out when the price is going completely opposite to what you're thinking about. This is a very important skill to develop as a scalp trader, not necessarily as a swing trader, but definitely for a scalp trader. You need to be able to stomach the pressure. You need to be able to kind of look at what's going on and still think rationally, still have anticipation, expectation, still understand, okay, the price is going against me. How do I turn this around? How do I get back? So one of the things I teach my students is whenever you have an engulfing candle that's eating up the previous wick, usually means the pressure is on the other one, right? So the pressure right now is obviously bearish. But again, I'm not too worried about it. Initial analysis, I look at a high time frame just to kind of get a scope of what's going on with the current market, GH. So once I realize, okay, the current market has a certain bias, that's when I kind of keep that in mind, right? So the momentum is still very bearish. If you already exit the trade, remember that moment I asked you guys, you can actually get out if you don't want it to kind of be dealing with the manipulation. If you have gotten out, you can literally, if we close below this trend line, you can think about kind of going short a little bit, especially if we close below the CHOCH. You can certainly start thinking about going short. So we got about 48 seconds. Fast and Furious is living a quarter miles at a time. For scalper like us, we're literally living on a 3-minute candle at a time. You see how the fib level is very true, right? The wick literally came right down to the fib and reversed. So, a lot of people who don't believe in fibs, a lot of times is because they don't know how to draw them or they don't know the right levels to use them, right? Primarily, I think fibs are very real and they work. Again, we're looking for a close above the CHLCH. 2 seconds, 1. Okay, we're closing literally right on CHLCH. I am still waiting for that bullish order block. So it's not out here yet. Let's keep waiting.